Students, it's Mrs. Madden, and I'm here to share my 13.4 review and reinforcement video on finding the area of composite figures. Remember, composite figures are larger figures that are made up of smaller figures. To find the total area of our composite figure, we can find the area of each separate figure. So here we have a triangle and we have a rectangle. So we can find our area of the triangle, then we can find our area of the rectangle, and then we can add them together to find the total area of the entire composite figure. So let's take a look at our triangle. Our area of a triangle, the equation for area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's go ahead and let's substitute in our figures that we know. So 1/2 times, what is the base of my triangle? Well, it's not labeled, but I do know that this is a rectangle, and these two sides will be equivalent. So if this is 8 inches, we can go ahead and label our base of our triangle also as 8 inches. So now we can go back over to our formula and go ahead and plug in our 8 for our base times our height, which is labeled here, which is 4. We can continue to solve this. So we could do 1/2 and times 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. So 1/2 of 32, or 1/2 times 32, is 16 square inches. That is the area of our triangle. To find the area of our rectangle, our formula is area equals length times width. Let's take a look at our rectangle. So we know our length is 8 and our width is 10. We could say 10 and 8 or 8 and 10. We know those numbers are interchangeable because of the commutative property of multiplication. So we could do 8 times 10 when we substitute in our numbers. So our area of our rectangle is 80 square inches. To find the total area of our entire composite figure, we're going to go ahead and add those two areas together. So the area of the total figure, we're going to add those two areas together. So we're going to do 16 plus 80. If we go ahead and we plug that in our calculator, we will get the total area of our composite figure being 96 square inches. Okay. All right, let's take a look at one more figure. Right here, we have a walkway that leads to Mr. Wheelock's house. Mr. Wheelock wants water on both sides of his walkway approaching his house for his alligators. What is the area that will be filled with water? So looking at the area that will only have the water. Well, let's take a look at our composite figure. It's made of a large rectangle and it's made of a small rectangle. So we can find the area of both. Let's take a look at our large rectangle. Let's find the area of our large rectangle. So our equation for area of a rectangle, area equals length times width. So our length of our large rectangle is 20 times our width of our large rectangle, which is 10. So the area of our large rectangle is 200 square feet. Let's take a look at our small rectangle. Let's find our area of the small rectangle. Once again, our formula is area equals length times width for a rectangle. So let's go ahead and substitute in our numbers for our small rectangle. So we're looking at this part right here. Our length is only 3 times our width of our large rectangle. Well, it's not marked, but I know that this is the same length as this, so I can go ahead and label that in there, 10 feet. So we know our width is also 10 feet. So our area of our small rectangle is 30 square feet. Now, to find the area of the water only, think of this as taking this part out. Will we add or we will subtract these two numbers? We're not finding the total area, we're taking this part out. So you got it, we're going to subtract those two numbers. So the area of the water only will be 200 minus 30. So our area that the water will be covering will be 170 square feet. Remember, when you're cutting out or you're taking out a part, that's subtracting. When you're finding the area of a composite figure, like the first one we did, you're going to add them together. Hopefully you've enjoyed our review of finding area of composite figures, and we'll see you next time. Bye.